Personal branding. Let's start with this. I mean, most of you have heard about me until now, so I will not go into all the details. 3 things that I'm doing. I'm organizer of 20 for the Planet, which is a fundraiser for a good cause. And I'm the organizer of Germany, so I was just doing a 24-hour walk in Germany a couple of months ago. If you're interested in 20 for the Planet, that goes around the world. I have 0 profit from it. I have no affiliation to that. But it's an interesting organization that pushes people beyond the boundaries and does that with a good cause in mind. Rising stars. You will see that on the slides. I have a personal branding thought leadership community with 600-something people. Everything for free, never going to be paid. You're welcome to check that out because there is like, I don't know, hundreds of videos of me explaining this in different ways. That's my company. If you know a CEO that needs personal branding support, you're welcome to send them my way. Or whenever you are CEO later, you're welcome to contact me as well. So that's the only promotion I do. And we go through all of this. So we talk about a systematic way of personal branding. I'm German. My brain is an Excel table. So for me, everything that has not a systematic way that I know that's going to work, I'm not doing it. So I'm telling you things that I have done the last couple of years that are working. There are hundreds of thousands of ways of explaining this, and there are a lot of opinions about personal branding. They're all valid. It's always about how you utilize that for yourself and what your goal is. So there's nothing wrong as well in the other topics. I'm just showing you what has worked and what is working for top CEOs in the world. So we look into how you build a personal brand. We look into how you build a hub. I will tell you later what that is. We look how you can create content. We look in how you can distribute content. And as part of that, I put that into the end, like in YouTube videos. If you stay until the end, we'll do a LinkedIn profile pimp up. So either we choose one of you and we do this live, or we use my profile, where I can show you how you can pimp up your profile on LinkedIn to be like either get more clients if you have a business, helping you with your career, and so on. And then a couple of strategies how you can utilize that for business and career in the end. And you're welcome to ask questions. This is kind of a workshop. I know it's pretty narrow here, so we don't have too much space to do real workshop style. And normally that takes 2 days. So I'm doing this normally for 2 days. So I will pack a little bit more into me talking, and then we do exercises in between. But questions are welcome, discussions are welcome. There are no stupid questions. So, before we start, who is this? Who is this? Lagarde. Yes. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Good. Ooh. The most difficult. No, it doesn't work. It's not an iPad. Most successful ultra-distance runner in the world. The fun thing, she has more than, I don't know, 5 million followers. And you have never heard about her. Doesn't matter. So what they all have in common, maybe not every single person, but they're all visible in the internet. They have all a very unique personal brand that some of them you directly shout out who that person is. Like literally, we have how many billion people on the planet? 8 billion something? And you know who this person is. You just see a picture of that person and you know the person. And you associate that person with something. So let's do a fun one. What do you associate with that person? Yeah. I know there are a couple of political tensions in that, but in the end, you know the person and you associate that person with something. And with the others as well. If we take Mr. Beast. Do you know Mr. Beast? Yeah. Exactly. #1 YouTuber in the world. So you associate him with YouTube, with what he does. And the cool thing is, if we take this gentleman, Jim Quick, he talks about how you use your brain and teaches since, I don't know, I know him since more than 10 years. Amazing guy, super, super, super deep nerd when it comes to the brain and the development and how you use your brain. And you have never heard about him. You, good. He has more than a couple of million followers too. And it's not about the followers, but it is about that there is a person that you know and you will remember. Because it doesn't matter what happens with Elon in the next 5 years, you will still remember him. And that's going back to my keynote from Sunday. You can do whatever you want to. I didn't put real influencers on this because I'm not a fan of an influencer strategy. Before we go into the rest, so the difference between influencer strategy and I call it thought leadership strategy. Influencers put things out to get the most possible clicks, the most possible likes. I was just giving the example before with a small group here. If I put on LinkedIn a video where I'm singing with my daughter, 7 years old, I will get a lot of likes. But my KPI for my personal brand is impact to my clients. I'm working with CEOs, and I'm only working with CEOs that do amazing impact in the world. So it's not Elon, no, I'm not talking about. It's, for example, I'll give you an example. We work with a CEO that is building schools, personally investing all his personal money into building schools in countries that cannot afford a school. These are people I work with. So my KPI is, how do I attract this type of person into my ecosystem, get money to help them, to create the impact? That's the difference between thought leadership, which is, I want to make an impact in this world, to influencer. It's not bad, but it's just a different strategy. So me, again, singing with my daughter gets a lot of likes, but doesn't bring impact in this world. It's just like keeping you scrolling on TikTok. So, why personal branding? The best thing about personal branding is that you don't need to do anything than being yourself. Every one of you has a personal brand right now. You might not like it, you might not utilize it, but you have a personal brand. Everyone, if we take your teams, the teams of 5, you know already kind of what the other people are about. That's their personal brand. The way you show up every day, that's your personal brand. We often think about it only in the internet and in social media, but you have a personal brand in the real life as well. In physical life, I mean. And that's the biggest opportunity you have. I was sharing that before as well. I wish I would have started in your age with putting myself out there, challenging myself to go into the internet, talk about what I believe, and help people to understand my way of thinking. Because over time, what is interesting, one thing is you will understand what you are about. Because in the beginning, I have had no idea. I just did a daily vlog on LinkedIn. You can still find that on YouTube. I was just talking about random stuff. And the cool thing was, because I did videos, I learned how to talk on videos. I learned how do I articulate myself. And that helped me to shape myself and the way how I communicate. So personal branding is the biggest differentiator that you have in your whole career. Because you're going to be you whenever you do something. And as more you show up as yourself, as more people will be attracted to you because people like you as you are. If not, then it's the wrong people. It's not that you are wrong. Then you're in the wrong circle. And that's, I believe, very important for young students. Question?
Sorry, I saw an idea that you should post as like kind of next step of what you want to be. So if you want to be kind of next step of your life, to post as that next person.
That goes into strategy. Yes, that's possible. If you want, let's take this quickly. So if you want to make a career in a large organization like I did, it's very simple. So you have a manager, and you focus on the person above that manager, not on your manager. Yes, you need to take care of your manager, but you focus on the manager above. If you do social media, you can do the same. Like you project yourself, how you dress, how you speak, one level up. That's kind of one strategy, but do that so that it is you, not kind of playing a game or playing a role. So, I use this formula a lot. So, credibility times visibility equals opportunity. Let's go back to influencers. They have a lot of visibility. Would you ask them to be the CEO of your company? Maybe not never, but most probably not. And then there are a lot of people, like most probably 80, 90% here in the room. You have a lot of credibility. Like you know things. You know what you talk about. And that can be, hey, I'm having a hobby, I'm a runner, I do this, and I know really a lot about that. So you have the credibility from the people that you are connected to, but you have no visibility. So if you want to create impact in this world, you need to move your visibility up. And if you're more here, if you're more visible than credible, then you need to move your credibility up. Because still, credibility times 0 is, you know, the other way around the same. We're almost done with the theory. Social proof. Let's do a fun thing. You go into your favorite, every one of you has a phone, I guess. Go into your favorite search engine, put in your name, and enter.
Full name, right?
Yeah, first name, last name, enter. Nothing else. If you want to be really good, then you open an incognito window. But it's okay if you just do the normal one. Anyone already done? What comes up?
My photos.
Now, your photos, good. Embarrassing photos or photos you would like people to see?
I don't mind them.
Good?
No, my LinkedIn profile comes first.
CV. How did you do that? Ah, okay. Let's keep one discussion. Sorry.
My hometown, there's a pretty weird politician. He has exactly the same name as I.
Okay. We get to that. That's a good bad example. So, some of you have found yourself. Very good. Which means, let's say, if I want to hire you, what do? I will Google you, I will use LinkedIn. If I cannot find you, I cannot dig deeper into you. So let's do the same thing with AI. Most probably every one of you is using one of the many AI tools. Put your name in.
My name in AI?
Yeah.
Do I ask who the person is or
Just your name. You can ask who is first name, last name.
But then what if you already provided the AI with information about yourself, so obviously it knows who you are?
Then use a different AI. I mean, if you have memory function, obviously, then it's cheating. So what comes up? A summary of? What are from articles? So let's have one conversation here. So tell the rest what.
I got a summary from what I've
articles that were written.
Articles? What kind of articles?
It's from like volunteering, Rotary International.
Good example. So if I search her name, articles come up that have been published in the internet about her volunteering. Which means if I'm the employer, if I'm let's say she has a CEO business later on, and she's running a business, and I look her up, that comes up, which gives me credibility to her. Anyone else?
Same-ish.
Same-ish? Also articles?
Yeah, about education specifically.
Good. So that means you have published something, or someone.
Similar to her case, where it has been published about.
Okay. Good. Let's take a mail. Sorry.
I got nothing, not at all.
Like empty, or is it?
No, no,
What does it say?
I couldn't find any notable person name.
Okay. Good example.
I basically scraped my LinkedIn profile, but picked the photo of some different guy. Like, it's just somebody.
Okay. Let's use my name, Jens Heitland. I don't have it. It's here, but it's very small. Heitland. Good. Okay, does anyone have my profile or found me? Let's use someone else from this side. Sorry. You didn't find me. Which tool did you use?
Find an actor and a psychologist.
Are you writing my name properly? Ah, okay. So I'm not an actor, only sometimes. So tell me what you find about me.
Jens Heitland is a prominent figure in the field of innovation, leadership, and personal development. He is recognized for his experience in corporate innovation and his focus on human-centered approaches to leadership and organizational transformation. And then about the career hero.
Yeah. What is the source of that? Just give a little bit.
Your website, mostly. Then scam speakers, premium speakers, like websites where talk about your business, Heitland Media Group. We are Succeed, and B2Match, and Investing in Africa.
So, just to repeat that, the number one source of what you read about me is my website, my personal website, jensheitland.com. That's why I had it on Sunday, if you have seen that, as the link. The interesting thing about that, and that's part of the systematic way of doing this, I'm 100% in control what I'm writing on my personal website, because nobody has access to my personal website than me. Maybe a couple of hackers, but so if we take the article example, you have no control what is written there. If you are somewhere mentioned, it can be wrong. It can be a different photo which is not you. If you have something in the internet that you own, it's a personal website. And it's super weird, I know this, but I have already bought the domain of my daughter's name. She's 7, and I bought it when she was like 2. Because I want her and have her name already registered to me. I mean, that we own the domain, so that we can build her website, that she utilizes everything that I do in my whole career.
I purchased my domain roughly more than 10 years ago. Didn't really succeed in having a big career, so I let the domain run out. Now it belongs to a weird politician from my hometown.
Yeah. You could have sold it to him at least. Yeah, so what I want to say is you are in control of what is in the internet if you produce yourself. If you don't produce yourself, other people are driving the narrative what is in the internet about you. You had a question?
Yeah, isn't it more credible if you, like for example, if you want to get to know about something about a person, like if you find something that like is not like if all the information was from someone's website, like they can also write anything they want there, right?
Of course.
And if it's like that might not be true, but if it's like from other kind of sources,
It's adding to that. The tricky thing is, and we're going into a world where we are not really verifying anymore, like all the 50 links that are in Google, because the old Google is almost gone. I guess in a year from now, we are only using AI. And then you get fed an answer. And then if you're not in control of that answer and feeding the internet with your story, then it comes up whatever comes up. I do this with CEOs. It's super funny when you do that, because there's sometimes really crap about them in the internet, and they don't want to have that seen, obviously, but they don't own anything. So it's just a huge opportunity. Let's go into the system.
Would you always say like make it .com?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You can do NL. So everything starts with you, your personal brand, and we will go deeply into that. I'm just showing you the system that we use. Your personal brand lives, everywhere, but first and foremost in your hub. That's your personal website. Everything I do is in my personal website. Every single post that I do on social media is in my personal website. Because I want to feed the internet with what I want the internet to know about me. And you don't see me posting about my daughter, about my personal life. You are 100% in control what you put out there. So it goes into the hub. Only then, based on the personal brand and the strategy that we have, we create content. And that can be a vlog, can be a blog, can be social media content, can be a podcast, can be whatever. That goes first and foremost into the hub. And only then it goes into social media. I use social media as a multiplier. Because it's free, and I can reach as many as possible people. That's why I have a TikTok account. I'm not dancing on TikTok. I'm literally using the same thought leadership pieces that I post on LinkedIn on TikTok. And there's a couple of hundred people still watching that. I don't get it, but it works. Same on all the other platforms. With this, I enable them to be interested in me. And you most probably have heard about the marketing funnel. First is awareness. If I have never heard about you, and we have seen that with some of the people from the first picture, you cannot look into them. But if you're interested in Elon Musk, you will find more about Elon Musk for sure, if you want to. So what you do, then you go into AI and you search, and you go into search or the normal browser, and you search, and you will end up somewhere. And if you want to guide people to find you, then you move them to the hub. And then that's more the business part, but also career strategy part. You build kind of a career funnel so that people find you. I'm here because of that. Because Carolina used ChatGPT, and we laughed about that yesterday, to look for a speaker that she was looking for, and I came up, and that's why I'm here. I'm here because of ChatGPT. So that it's just a systematic way of doing that. Now we go real into the workshop. Question?
How does people get to your personal website? So if you post content on social media, LinkedIn, do you post the link to your website, or how do you get people from LinkedIn to your website?
Sometimes I'm adding the link, so you directly go to the blog post, and sometimes I'm not, because like algorithm stuff. In the end, if you're truly interested, you will Google me. You will use ChatGPT, you will find me.
But if you don't just like a little bit, what is your website is not kind of reference, it will not be searchable as well. It can be you can die at the end of the page.
I wouldn't say it does not. I mean, of course, I have the link somewhere in LinkedIn as well to my personal website. But the interesting thing with the internet, if done right, you have SEO and all these strategies, you just pop up. If we take me, I have 50,000 people on my personal website. It's nuts. I mean, who of you would like look into like 20 blog posts of me? It's not that interesting, but it's 50,000 people, unique visitors on my personal website. And some of them end up to be my clients, even half a year or a year later. That's why I do this. So, personal branding. First exercise for all of you is, what is your superpower? And I have a tool that helps you. You can use the paper and pens, do that on any digital device. So it starts with childhood and it ends today. For you, it's growing still further from today. So that's the timeline we have. And then we look into what were the activities in your lifetime that you really enjoyed doing. The things that you say, I'm really good at that. I give you my example just to trigger you a little bit. I have been German school system in a basic school in the beginning, and I was the guy, 4, 5, 6 years old, that was dragging the other kids to the playground to play football. I was the guy who was dragging people when I was 18, 19, 20 to the, let's go out drinking. I was the guy who was organizing this. If we just go to today, I'm the guy who is organizing a freaking 24-hour walk in Munich in Germany. So I'm the person that is organizing, connecting people and help them to get towards. So that's my superpower. So if you look into activities backwards, and then you look into what are the behaviors that are linked to that activities. So what did I do when I brought the kids to the football field? Like, how did I do this? How did I behave to get them motivated? So take a couple of minutes. I give you maximum 3 because we don't have too much time. To look into activities, and then I will pick like 2, 3 to share that. Okay? Go.
You said it can be two things, but maybe it can also be like things that formed you as a human.
But then it's not a superpower.
Why not? Because you came back from it.
If you repeat it, it's something you do all the time. Anyone already an idea that you want to share?
I can start with the activities. I put, since I was a child, I put swimming, working out, boxing, painting, cooking. And the behaviors, I put perseverance, empathy, hard work, and creativity.
How do you summarize that to one overarching superpower that you have?
I think overall, empathy kind of combines most.
Good. So empathy.
Yeah.
My ability to learn. So if I have trouble figuring something out, I work until I get it. So for example, I used to be really bad at public speaking, but now I'm a public speaking consultant for my university.
Nice.
People always told me like you need to be a teacher because you can bring something towards people by telling, by doing. You can inspire.
Educator. Good.
People would ask me to speak on their behalf. For example, someone else, if that feels too scary for them. For example, someone who needs the school.
Good. So these are all examples. Of course, you will not have this after 3 minutes, but dig deeper, look into it, what it is. And then use this over the next years as well to fine-tune it. Because if you know your superpower, like for me, it costs 0 calories to stand in front of you right now because I love to connect people. I love to organize things. It's like literally 0 calories. Like I should pay to be here, which I do.
You maybe also focus on that of like what doesn't tire you, like what could you do like
It's part of it. So what is the thing that doesn't really takes energy of you, but if you compare that with other people, like other people are completely stressed out if they need to organize something. For me, it's like, yeah, cool, let's do it. Yeah. So the thing that you enjoy, good point. So use that going forward, because the cool thing about this, if I would be interviewing you in a job, as an example, and you give this energy to me that you're doing this thing, I mean, you package that in a story in an interview, but kind of you give me the possibility to understand what your superpower is, then I see already how can I use you as part of the organization to say, she would definitely be the best person in that role, not in that role. So that's the opportunity that you have. By being clear what your superpower is, you just enhance that by understanding it and then use it for yourself and share it with others. My values, that's a long exercise. We do just an easy version of that because we could do this like a whole day. The interesting thing is when you dig into your values, let's just do the upper part here. What do you value in other people? Because what I have found out doing this with many people is what you value in other people is closely linked to what your values are. So take 2 minutes and dig deeper into what do you value in other people? Personally. I mean, mix both. Anyone already willing to share?
All of them or just one?
Just as you wish.
So the first one I put down was reliability. Like if I can rely on someone, like count on them regardless of the situation.
Reliability, yeah, good.
Should I give more? Okay. I also wrote down honesty and empathy.
Honesty and empathy.
I wrote down honesty, commitment, discipline, intelligence, kindness, pragmatism.
Good.
Respect was a good one.
Nice.
I have thoughtfulness, understanding, curiosity, and respect.
integrity, ambition, and kindness.
I appreciate someone who takes time and empathy.
I put trust, someone I can trust, someone that has a lot of energy so that it's easy to talk to them, doesn't just drain your energy with it, someone that is interested in things, and also I put also reliable.
Loyalty, stoicism, creativity, and devotion.
Humility and open-mindedness.
Last one, sorry.
Value understanding, honesty, kindness, and fairness.
Good. It's not that difficult, right? It's just that we often don't think about our values, except you put into a situation like this right now. It's more that you act with them every day, but you're not consciously thinking about them. And if you use that, and we will put all of this together later on, it's super, super powerful if you understand that, and then you act and you use them in the way that it is helping you. This is a huge exercise. So we again, we do a very, very small version of it. I have a cheat sheet which you can access through that QR code. And you will get the slides later on as well. We will do a simple version of that right now. I have a couple of prompts that will help you. I mean, not AI prompts, but so you can do the deep version at home later on and look into that. All good?
Will these slides be made available after this weekend?
Yes. Yeah. So I will get you access to the video recording, the slides, and the documents. Yeah. I know it's tricky here. So let's. Who has heard about Simon Sinek? Couple of. So Simon Sinek is one of the bright minds, thought leaders in leadership, philosophy, and so on. One of the things, and he has an amazing TED Talk. If you have not seen that, I highly recommend to watch his TED Talk about why, how, what. I don't know how it's called exactly. Exactly. So what he starts with is the why. And you use the same thing for business, by the way. It's super powerful. If you talk about why you have this business, that links, by the way, to the problem that you're solving. So you have a why that is the highest level, your visionary why of your life in this case. Like, why do you exist? We will go into this now. So here are a couple of things. And it's super difficult. I've done it with students before, and everyone's like, I'm 20. I have no idea about that shit yet. So it's just a starting point to nudge you into that. Because normally there's a question as well, what gets you out of bed in the morning? Like, my mom kicking me out. So it's more this type of questions, like what impact do I want to make in this world? And I know it's super, super, super high level and very philosophical, but if you dig into that and if you understand what you want to create in this world, it helps you because it's a driving force. And then the next question is, what am I most passionate about in my life and career? And of course, that's changing for you still quite a bit. For me, that's not too much changing anymore. For me, I just give you my example, or a version of it at least. I believe that people will make the difference. Like I said on Sunday, you all can make the difference. And I want to enable people to do that in a way that they do positive things in this world. That's why I'm helping CEOs that do impact. So I help them to make their credibility more visible so that they're more successful with the business they're doing, so that they have more money in the example case to build more schools. So with what I do good in this world. So that's why I do what I do. And I'm focusing on the human because I believe the humans is the most important thing in the world. So that's the first step. And then you go to the how. So how do I live out my purpose on a daily basis? I know, again, very, very high level. It's difficult. That's why I have the cheat sheet for you for home as well. What are my core values that shape the way I work and live? Because in the end, if you're truly going through that exercise, and I do this, for example, with the CEOs that I work with, we do this in a 3-hour session when we go deeply into these topics for them personally. Because even 50-year-old CEOs have never done that for themselves. And then the next one is, what strengths or skills do I consistently use to achieve my goals? That goes back to your superpower. Because the way you do things are making the difference. We had that yesterday a little bit in the small room. And some at least have seen that live from me. When I came into the discussion, I've never given you the answer. Because I believe you're strong enough to find the answer yourself. I just nudge you in a direction. That's the way how I do it. I'm not doing this because I'm mentor here. I'm doing this all the time. I've led global teams in IKEA in the same way like I did it yesterday in the room. There's never a difference.
So for these questions, I went through some similar ones before this workshop already, and I always struggle with the thought, I know there are people out who are doing these things so much better than me. So how to work with that?
Don't care about other people in that sense. So the difficult thing, and everyone has that, is this imposter syndrome. That, the other person is way better than me in this. In the end, it doesn't matter how good the other person is. Look at them and say, okay, what can I learn from that person? It's less about, I'm bad, I'm not as good as that person. It's like, hey, if I do things, I will get better. It's like in your case, martial arts. The first day on the mat, you're not going to be a good fighter, for sure. But you have done this most probably over 2 decades already. Okay, so let's say 1 decade. And you got better and better and better to the point that you're today. It's with everything in life. As more we work on something, as better we get. And as more we learn to believe in ourselves, as better we believe in ourselves. I mean, I can do the same. There are hundreds of thousands of people that are much better than me doing this. But it's them doing it their way, and it's me doing it my way. And I believe for myself, that's a cool thing. And I know that sounds awkward. I would not say this in other settings, but that's just you're convincing yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, it's like the thing that always holds you back. That's why these things are almost like coaching things that get you into that. And then in the end, it's really what you do. What do I do specifically? So in my case, I help CEOs to make their credibility visible. That's the what I do. And run their social media. That's like the detailed version of that. So for yourself as well, what is the thing that you're doing? And that can be maybe today a little bit more narrow, where you say, hey, I'm training kids that struggle in school with their self-doubt and teach them martial arts. That can be, I help my team inside of the EIA to succeed by doing this. It can be very narrow, but that's what I do. I'm the person that organizes the beer afterwards. Even that's good. So then the next question that helps you to get into that, what are tangible results that you create through your work? Like through what you do. So go back to my case. I help the CEOs, or this specific CEO, to get a new client through his visibility so that he can invest 5 million into a school. And then the last one here is, what impact do I have on the people or industries I work with? Like, what are the specifics? And if you have digested all of that, then you have kind of, I think there's even a sentence in this document which helps you a little bit more in fine-tuning that and a couple of more questions. Then you have that. And then you can fine-tune it with AI if you want. But it's just, if you understand that for yourself, this is why I believe in what I believe. These are the values that I connect to that. This is how I do that. Like, I work with the CEOs in the same way that I worked yesterday with the teams in my classroom. I work with them to empower them to do the things they're going to do, and I take the operational part for them. That's why they pay me. And I help them to shine. It's very, very simple. And then you connect that back to your why, which is helping people to succeed and helping people to make impact in this world. Next exercise is your origin story. Who remembers the story that I told you on Sunday? The first one.
I'm not sure
Tell, what do you remember?
your origin story of how you started to work in the construction site when you were 16, then you worked at IKEA, started in sales, I believe, you worked in the office.
How random is that she remembers that I started on construction sites? And some of you maybe as well. Completely random. I have nothing to do with construction today. So what I used a storytelling framework to tell you about me, who I am. I am the person that I am today because that's how I started, which connected you emotionally to who I am. And storytelling is the way how you do that. So the origin story is actually what I did in a in a 1-minute version. And there are topics in that sheet as well. This is the story origin storytelling framework. That's the one that Hollywood is using. Who of you have seen Lord of the Rings? Or at least heard about it? Lord of the Rings is a movie where like a hobbit goes and then throws the ring into the fire. That's the short version, right? So it's I will not go through the whole movie, but it's actually happening in that movie, and every Spider-Man is the same thing. It's a person that is just a normal person. Like Spider-Man, I don't know, Peter Parker? It's Peter, the nerd. And then he got bitten by a spider. And then somehow he meets a mentor. It's easier with Lord of the Rings because people, at least I remember that. So if we take Lord of the Rings, Frodo was in I don't know the English version, Hobbit land. So he was just a hobbit, and there was this party, if you remember. And then there was this call to action where he got the ring. And then he refused it. So that's part of the storytelling. And then he found the mentor, which was? So you even remember that. Most of the time it's a senior. I've used that storytelling yesterday as well. Like I talked about my mentor in a different context. And then he's crossing the threshold. So he's going with Sam out of the field, and then Sam is saying, I've never been further away from home than this. And then they jump on that boat when the horse riders are behind them and so on. And then in the end, they're winning and come back home. That's a storytelling format that you can use. So what you can do, you take this, you use this storytelling framework, and you ask ChatGPT or any AI, ask me questions about myself to fulfill an origin story. That's the fastest way how you can do that. The cool thing is then you use, let's say, ChatGPT as a coach, ask me questions to develop my origin story according to that framework. And then you have your origin story. And that might be, I grew up in a small village and struggled in school and then developed like this, and today I'm a student and I'm freaking in Porto. The cool thing about that, people will remember that your story. And this is so basic, but it's so powerful. I've used that all the time on huge stages, and there are people afterwards coming to me and asking me about details. Why do you do what you do? It's super, super powerful. Think about you go to a job interview and you have that in mind. You will not tell the whole story when fighting with the dragon, but you can put snippets in. If you are prepared, you understand the person that is in front of you. Like you know the person that you meet for a job interview. I use job interview because that's maybe something every one of you is going to experience in the future, except those that are building the startup and already scaling from next week on. So you are in a job interview. You know that you're meeting a person, right? You have the name of the person. What do? Research, exactly. So you check that person out, ChatGPT, Google, LinkedIn, at least. And then you know about that person. Let's say you find me and you find out that I'm German. If you're German or German speaking, you can use that in your story to make the link. Hey, we're bros. We're the same. So, and it works all the time. As more connection points you find, I do this in sales, for example. I had a person that worked like for 2 years in Sweden. And I lived in Sweden and my daughter is born in Sweden. So I used that to get this guy bought into what I do. It's like, because what I did, I had a background, real background, and I put the Swedish flag in my background. Like seriously, no joke. So, and he was like, why do you have a Swedish flag in your background? Click, I had him. So this is a super simplified version that you can use for the story. I will read it for those that cannot see it. So I grew up in ... small village, this situation, where you did whatever. That's the normal world. Like I am grown up in Hobbit land, where I had a party with the other hobbits. When you did something, you faced the struggle. It's kind of the call to action where you face the first struggle. But it taught me something. One day I realized that ... that moment was turning my point for me, was my turning point for me because of whatever it was. So, did I tell this story when I got made redundant? No. Okay. Normally I tell that story as well. So you always have turning points in your life. Some of you might have turning points that brought you here. That was the turning point. Most of the time it's negative turning points. So I was made redundant when I was 24 because the construction industry was completely collapsing. I mean, was bad in Germany at that time. And they needed to let go of people. I was the youngest, so you're part of the first group. That's why I'm here today. That's what's driving me still today. Because I said at that day, I'm never going to be dependent on anyone else anymore. I will put my luck into my own hands and I'm going to drive it to whatever I want to. And since then, I started in Deutsche Bank, moved into IKEA, built my own businesses, and never stopped. So that's kind of my piece of that struggle that I used into my superpower and what I do. Bad turning point is always better. Yeah. It's more powerful. It's weird, but humans somehow, psychology-wise, I have no idea, I'm not an expert, but we focus on the negative. So people will remember the negative. So you use that, and then you decided to what you're going to do, and you kind of go towards the future. And then you go into, now I do this, and my journey has made me whatever you are, and then looking ahead, I hope to whatever. Super simplified. But it just helps you to trigger your mindset a little bit. So we will not be able, normally I love to do that with all of you, like go into your origin story because it's so powerful. Try to dig into that. Do it at home, do it maybe not the next 3 weeks because you're busy with building the startup, but just have that in mind. And you can test that. I mean, if you want, you can just do a basic version of that and you test it with the other people. When you introduce yourself, whenever you introduce yourself, use it. I use it all the time because I know that the power of the story is always working. And people will remember you completely different than if you're not telling a story. If I would stand on stage, I'm Jens, I was the global head of innovation, let's go into the topic. Boring. You might not, and what I want you to do, and that's a little bit my tactic, I want you to be emotionally invested into me as part of the keynote speaker. Because it's not the topic that I talk about, it's me, I'm the focus when I'm a keynote speaker. I want you to blend everything out and listen to me. And if you use stories, it always works. Because you're just like emotionally more invested into the topic. So, brand pillars. The cool thing about brand pillars is if you have brand pillars, they will help you to know what you're going to talk about. They will help you to understand what you are about. Simplified version. What are you excited about? Because we're not going into huge branding exercise now that will take too long, but what are the things you're excited about? That's important for you. Like, I'm excited about humans, I'm excited about leadership, I'm excited about long distance events, running and cycling and so on. I'm excited about whatever you are, cupcakes. Because you can talk about these things. And I, of course, use that for my business. What I have for my business, if you follow me on social media, I'm sorry, but you're going to see this all the time from now on. I will talk 80% about my business topics. So I have 3 pillars that are business and 2 pillars that are personal. And it always works. So what are you knowledgeable about? What are the things you deeply care and you know? And know more than anyone else in your ecosystem. There are always things where you are the nerd in this topic. You might not share that openly, but there are things you really know and know more about than anyone else. What would you like to learn more about? Like, what are the things you would love to dig deeper into? Because if you're excited about a topic, you will dive deeper into it, and you're getting the expert over time. And what would you like to be known for? So my number one thing that I want to be known for is that I'm the person that is doing the human way of doing that, whatever it is. I want to be known as the human person. Not me as a human, but the person that does it the human way. And that's my number one thing that I'm getting across. So, it's later. Shit, there's a slide missing. It will come later. So if we go back to this pillar structure, your brand, in the end, is built out of all of this. So you have your values, which is the foundation of the house. Your values are not going to change. I mean, slightly adapt most probably, but what I have experienced with senior people, they had the same values throughout their whole life. That's the foundation. Then your vision and mission is the roof. Your why and your how and so on. And then the pillars are kind of how you connect the values with the vision. I give you my pillars, just to give you an understanding. Is leadership, personal branding, and thought leadership is kind of 2. I often talk about sales, because one of the things that people don't get right. And I, of course, talk about long-distance stuff, doing challenging things in your life, and so on. And I do this all the time. Why do 5? Very simple, Monday to Friday. You can do 3, it's fine too. I do Monday to Friday because in my social media strategy, I'm posting every day, at least twice. So every weekday, I'm posting twice. Every single platform. It's part of my strategy. We will get into that. So Hub. Any question until now?
So on different days, you post on different pillars, how it works.
Exactly. So I do every day a different pillar, which nobody sees if you don't know the strategy.
Do you prepare your content?
Yeah, of course. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So Hub is the personal website. I will give you a simplified version again. Structure. I mean, every one of you has seen a website, right? So you have different pages in websites. So the number one is the home page. Then what I recommend, and that's if you check out my clients, they all have that. Home page, story. What is the story?
Origin story.
Exactly, origin story. I have a fine-tuned version of that for what we use, but it's in the end who I am. Then blog, which is content. That can be podcast, that can be whatever. I have different pages like this because I have 2 podcasts, I have a blog, I have whatever. Contact. If you don't have a contact page or a contact opportunity on your website, nobody will be able to reach out to you. I even have a WhatsApp thing. Speaking, for those of you that want to do public speaking like I do, you have a speaking page which showcases you as a speaker. That's why I'm here. ChatGTP, Carolina used ChatGTP, found me. What she did, she looked at my personal website, she looked at my speaking page, she has watched the videos of me, and then reached out to me. That's why I'm here. And then links, you most probably have seen that in the internet. When you have someone, they have like, click on my website, then you land in a link distribution page. Have you seen that before? What a lot of people do, they use an external tool. I use my own website to do that. So I have one page which is just all the links, like all my social media, all my podcasts, everything that I want to help people. The reason for that is I'm not making it a landing page where you cannot click away from. I'm making it so that you see the rest. So you land on my link page and this, oh, that's an interesting. Then they go to the home page, drag to the story page, and so on. So that's the pages I use, and I recommend to dig into. By the way, website is not difficult. If you have never built a website, you can use AI these days, and it's done in, I don't know, half an hour. Or you use Squarespace or any of these tools like Slides. It's very, very simple. And I am pretty sure it's like super cheap. I don't know. I guess it is for free. There are possibilities you can do that for free. You buy a domain for $18 per year, and then you have your domain. So let's go a little bit more into each of the pages. And you can look at my personal page to see that structure live. Hero section is the top. It's the biggest banner that is on top, and what I always recommend there, have your why connected to that, so that people that land on your page know exactly what you're about, and then have a possibility to hook them to something, like sign up for my newsletter in my case. And then I go into story. So what I want to do with my personal website, because in the end I want to get them to the business. But if I directly do, hey, buy this, people are off. What I do, the same thing I did with you on Sunday, I want them to be invested into me as a person. So I have one section, these things are called sections, where I have the hook to my story. And I have measured this over time, like I know how many people click this button to get to my story page, which is fascinating how many people land on your homepage and then go to your story. It's a huge amount, because people are just interested, tell me more, if done well. Then I have the call to action, which in my case is my business. I have this the other way around, but doesn't matter. And then I have content. So you can find my podcast. You can find a section where I promote the blog posts that are only for personal branding, which is, I don't know, hundreds of videos into blog post format. So that's my home page. Then you go into the story page, which is who you are. It's your origin story. What I have done, I have deleted that lately, but I have now done a different version of that. I have built my CV that you normally have on LinkedIn on my story page. I have now swapped it to an about page, but still the same strategy. So I did, AI did, not me, but I used AI to write my CV in a text format so that search engines can use it, like a bio format. And then I still linked every single company and everything to it. So that's indexing in the internet. SEO strategy. The cool thing is, when you now ask ChatGPT or something about me, then it comes up. Like ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever will then tell you, Jens has been working in this company and has achieved that. That's all done from me.
Related to SEO. So I've been one of the older ones in this room. So when I was young, SEO was huge. And nowadays, it's just random. I mean, you apparently have to pay Google to appear somehow if they don't really do something.
Yeah, I don't know about Google, but it still works 100% because AI is not different. So AI is indexing the internet. What AI does, as far as I understand, I'm not the scientist, AI is reading literally the text that is on the web, watching the videos, let's say it like this, everything. And then it's looking for that, and if you have a question to that specific topic and you have done it well, then you pop up. Your topic pops up. And as more credible it is, that's the cool thing, like we discussed with the source, AI is validating the source still. So if you own the domain and it's your name, it's always ranked higher, on Google as well. That's why if you Google my name, it's even more crazy than on ChatGPT right now. Because you cannot find anyone else. I know 2 people that have the same name like I have. They're done. Because you need to get to, which nobody does. So you're on a desktop like this. You go to Google, put my name, and you need to go to page 4 or something to find them. They're done forever.
How do I find this politician with the social media platform?
You just do better content. Have a better strategy than him. Show up more often than him. It's not that difficult.
Which AI do you use most?
I just moved this week to Perplexity because of the new engine they have built. Perplexity, but in the end it's all the same. They're using ChatGPT, Claude, and so on. I use all of them. So, story page. Give the internet your story so that people can find it. Blog page, whatever you are about. Like have a description and then have blog posts go deeper. I'm going a bit quicker. Contact, you have a contact form. I guess that's clear, right? And then the speaking page, let's not go too much into that. But in the end, is you have a call to action that you get people. In the best case, that's why I'm having cameras with me. You take the video and you put it onto your speaking page and people can see how you speak. And then they say, I had this, by the way. I'm speaking in Germany in a couple of weeks from now. And the assistant of the board of that big company has seen my speaking video. And she said, we need him as a keynote speaker. They were not able to afford me at the first event they asked me, but then they knew my price, and they just bought an hour keynote of me. I give you so much. In IKEA time, I needed to work 2 months for that money I get for one keynote. And it's only because I have the video on my speaking page. Links page, whatever you want. I have in the top, it's like I have the topics I want you to figure out, sometimes sales, then other topics, social media, business, and so on. Content system. We don't have much time anymore. Anyone you heard about pillar content? So how can you produce as much as possible content without going nuts? So what I do, I give you the example on my podcast. So I have a long-form podcast, which is a video podcast. So what do I have? I have a video, I have audio, I have pictures in the end. 3 forms of content. So I'm producing one thing and I have 3 things. Now you use AI. You take the audio, move that into Spotify, which is a normal podcast. You, of course, move that into your hub. So in my hub, you can check that in my live website. Every single podcast episode is a video, is text, which is the blog post created from AI, from the transcript with specific prompts. It's on YouTube, and it is at least 3, 4, 5 social media posts. And then you just put that into the internet. Not every day, I mean, not everything the same day, but I'm sprinkling it out. So I have the main episode, let's say it goes out on a Tuesday, and then I have a video short form version of that, TikTok style, that goes out on Thursday that links back to the main episode. You see this all the time from other influencers and people that do things. So it's you produce one thing and then you use different formats and show that to people. And you can do this even with short form, which a lot of people don't understand. That's why I have 2 podcasts. I have one where I do interviews with people from around the world and one which is my short form podcast, which is the TikTok videos. Every single TikTok video is a podcast episode. Because if you post something on TikTok, it's gone after 2 days, maybe a week if you're lucky. Nobody will watch your TikTok video anymore. If you put it into, let's say, Spotify or Apple Podcasts, people will consume it. I still have people that listen to my first ever podcast episode, which was years ago. Nobody does that in TikTok. Like, most probably you have never scrolled to the first post of someone in TikTok.
Yeah, for everybody who's interested about this, there's an app. There's multiple apps, but the one I use is called Opus Clips. So you insert the link of your episode, so you have a 20-minute podcast video, and it creates like 30 viral clips of that specific episode with captions and everything. You can edit it a bit if you want it to be better, but it's perfect for social media. So then you create a system that you upload constantly, and then that's how you create content for yourself.
Exactly. Opus Clips.
So I'm having a personal Instagram page where I used to write about travel. And I'm a reasonably good writer apparently, so I got several people got in contact with me. But it's a very tedious thing to write reasonably good post. So at some point I was, okay, ChatGPT can do that probably better. And people don't care about it. So started to write it myself again, and it works again.
You can teach AI. So like you all know. So what you can do is you can teach AI to write like you. So when, for example, we do this for other people. So it's easy for me because it's me. But what we do is we do this for other people, like for our CEOs. As part of their brand building, we build their tone of voice. We build specific ways how they talk and how they write. And we just put that into the prompt. Use this tone of voice, use that, and use that.
Speaking about video content, I mean, for me it's understandable if you have, let's say, interview, you can easily have like 10 or whatever you need posts. But what if you want to have like text content, like blog post content? Is any good idea or should just focus on video?
No, video is just the most bang for your buck. Because you have the highest form of content. If you do text only, it's still possible. You have a blog post that is, let's say, 5 pages, and then you just take small things from that, and you share that to trigger people. Still works. The missing piece is that you're not having this emotional connection straight away. Like a person needs to read the whole text to have the emotional connection. With a video, they watch like 3 seconds, and you have them hooked if done well.
Does video work for everybody? Or
Yeah. That's maybe, you should do this. Maybe that's a fun thing. What I do in my community, we have one like conversation area where we did a 30-day challenge, 30-day video challenge. Because what I did 365. Don't do that. That's crazy. I did 365 days of me vlogging on LinkedIn, 2020 or something. The cool thing about that is you learn so much about how you talk and how you pace and your tone of voice. It's dramatically changing. After 30 days, it's huge difference. Because the first one is like, yeah, I have no idea. If you have a look at the community, it's really funny. If you see the first videos of people, there's a lady called Adelina. She lives in Switzerland. The first video is so crap. She says that as well, so I can say that. It's really bad. She's like, yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to say. and then after 30 days, she's crushing it. And there are people who are doing it forever already. And it's just, I want to challenge every one of you. The best way is you just record every single day a video. And you can do it for yourself only, but it's even better if you put it on TikTok. Yes, TikTok you don't care that much. LinkedIn, I guess, is a bit more difficult. But it's better if you share it because it's higher pressure environment. You will see huge development of yourself if you do that. If you're scared about videos, that's exactly what you should do.
Does that not interfere somehow with the idea that everything you put out is part of your personal brand?
I mean, it's still you.
Doesn't it like...
I agree. The thing I'm about is you're all in the beginning. Like nobody of you, I guess, is doing this daily right now. So if you want to get to a point where you're comfortable sharing it on LinkedIn, which is, I think, for us at least, business-wise, is the most important platform, you need to get to a confidence level that you say, now I'm ready to post it on LinkedIn. And to get there, you just need to do it. That's why you can do it like you don't need to share it on social, but it's more pressure.
What's the common trait successful people shared who went through this 30-day journey?
They just did it. Yeah. Just doing it daily. And they were all, like I have had a lady, she was 42. She has never recorded a video of herself. I guess most of you at least have done video with friends somewhere. She has never done a video, and now she uses videos as part of her promotion. So that's just one example of how you can create content en masse. I do this professionally with people. Next week I will be in London to record podcasts of CEOs. Not my own podcast, but one of our clients. So I travel with him, and we have like whole setup, and they do a podcast interview, and we produce the podcast for him. And then we distribute it exactly like this. Because the biggest bang for your buck, plus if you have a video, and that's just important to understand, the emotional connection is there. You can tell the story. You can do things in a way that you cannot do through text. That's why TikTok is working so well. You just need 2-3 seconds to hook the people. We will not be able to go into how to create videos. That would be a fun one. If you're interested in that, I can ask to get another slot. So, same thing, just in a different visual. So there's a flow. You create a video, you put that into your blog, you put that into social media, and then you try people to get into your way. It 100% works business-wise as well. 100%. So if you create a social media strategy for the business, marketing strategy, in today's world, this should be part of your strategy. Because you're creating content that drags people into your direction, and then in the best case, you get leads out of that. My business is working 80% on inbound. I don't need to reach out to people too much to get clients, because people just see me and follow me, and then over time they say, hey, can you do that for me? So I'm the best credibility booster of our business, which helps. Important, when we come to content, every single thing has to have a goal connected to it. My 99.9% of everything I do is how do I get people attracted to me to get them into my business. It sounds selfish, I get that, but it's a strategy. Because if you are emotionally invested in me, let's say you would be a CEO and our target audience, you would be emotionally invested into me, you're interested in what I'm talking about, and then you will consume the content, and over time, I'm literally moving you into my funnel. And that sometimes takes a year, but it's happening. I had someone who is now a customer, he said, I followed you since half a year. I really love your content. He has not liked a single video of me. Never. I didn't, like, it was behind the scenes. He has seen all of them, but he has not liked one. And then he reached out to me. So key part, and that goes to videos as well. So when you want to be seen as a thought leader, that's not influencer strategy. There are three things that you can do. Entertainment. So entertaining people. There are hundreds of millions of videos that come to your mind right now. They're only about entertainment. Then there are more inspirational videos. You connect people to their why. You connect people to something bigger, where people are inspired about what's happening. And then the most powerful, in my perspective at least, is education. If you educate people about what you know, it's the most powerful thing. And that's like 100% YouTube strategy. You see this all the time. Like, I don't know how many YouTube channels are out there that are doing only educational content. Because what they do is they attract you through educating. And the cool thing, does any one of you know Alex Hormozi? Not that many, okay. Alex Hormozi is like one of the guys that are like entrepreneurship one-on-one and so on. I had the possibility to meet him and spend a week with him earlier this year in his office. Cannot tell you. No, I was invited. I didn't pay. So I was able to spend a week with him, and I've seen how they do that. And what I adapted before already, I used the same strategy. He's putting everything out for free, and the in-depth knowledge that he shares is so deep that people just want to give him money for the knowledge. I have used his books and things in the past, and just through that, I have already made, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of euros. So if you put out content that is so valuable to people, Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi. H-R-O-R Mozi. A guy who has a beard, always has a muscle shirt and shorts. We have talked about the pillars. So when you create content, you have a goal in mind. So you want to educate people. Then what pillar do you use to educate people in? In my case, personal branding, thought leadership, endurance stuff, whatever you are about. So in the end, I will just go a bit quicker. And then you produce. So you have the goal first. You know the pillar that you're going to educate in. And then you produce. You do the other things first. You're not just creating something and then figure out the rest. You're doing everything with intent. When I'm recording videos, I'm not doing this daily anymore. I'm batching for 2 months. So we did a session the other day where I recorded in a couple of hours 40 videos. So it's 40 videos that were all prepared before, all with the goal, all with the pillar, and then we recorded. And now I don't need to do anything for 2 months. So we don't have time to go really into depth how you produce videos, but because it's a super deep topic and it's taking too much time. What do we have? We have that? Distribution system. There are tons of different platforms that you can use to post on all social media. So what we do, we use one tool that helps me to distribute everywhere because it's just efficiency. That costs money that I have, but you can, for example, program posts inside of LinkedIn. Most probably everyone has seen that, right? Inside of LinkedIn, you can click a little clock or something when you post, and then you can program it for tomorrow. So that's what we do. So this week, for example, I have 0 to approve because it's all done. I'm only approving because it's my business. So my team is creating the things. So what you can do is you you say, I want to be visible from next month. You start creating today, and you program it for next month. Because then you always have a 4-week window. You never go into the stress situation, I need to post something today, and then it's shit. Especially on LinkedIn, always prepare before, do things with intent, and then shoot it out. A very powerful, I think I mentioned that in the morning to some of you, a very powerful thing that you can do in your age, document your journey. This is what I learned in this seminar. This is what I learned from that keynote. Even one of your professors is doing that. It's quite cool. He did it on LinkedIn the last days and tagged all of us, which was smart. So share your journey, because people are interested in the journey. How did you get to where you are? It's a very, very simple strategy for all of you. I mean, I don't need to explain any of the social medias, right? Like, there are hundreds of thousands of tools. I recommend you to be everywhere. The reason for that is, and that's also the reason why I'm creating TikTok channels for every single CEO that we do this. You are in a different mindset when you're using different tools. You're in a different mindset when you're using TikTok than when you're using LinkedIn. When you're using LinkedIn, you're more about business topics. When you're using TikTok, you're more about entertainment topics or whatever you're about. The cool thing of that is, if you are everywhere, people can figure you out from a different mindset perspective. Like, you're not expecting me to be on TikTok and I pop up and talk about personal branding and, hey, build a hub or whatever I talk about. And then you say, oh, that's interesting. If the same content on LinkedIn you might not be interested in. Same on TikTok, same on the other platforms. So you can use that to your advantage by being everywhere. And the good thing is, you don't need to create this different content. You can just use the same content and fine-tune things a little bit. Because the tone of voice on TikTok is slightly different than LinkedIn. I still use 100% the same video, because I believe it's not worth it for us right now to do a separate TikTok strategy.
How we can have equilibrium between quality and quantity? Because I think if I do content all days, won't be good, you know.
That's why I'm saying prepare before. I would recommend you at least to do post 3 times per week. You don't need to go as crazy as I am. But better is more is better. It sounds super weird, but it works. For me it's quite interesting, because I do this since a couple of years, and we always measure. Like, I'm an engineer. I look at the average of the week, and the average of the week is way higher when I'm posting every day than I post twice. But if you look at every single post, if I post twice per week, every single post has more engagement and more reach. But if you look at the average over the week, it's way higher. So, meaning more eyeballs see me when I'm posting more often, but I have less likes. And I don't care about likes, because my goal is business. I'm not an influencer. So it's really something that you need to decide for you. Do you want to use it to be seen and drive your business or something into a direction? Then I always recommend do more. Do first more and then do better. Because while you're doing more, you're getting better. You will see that in my first videos if you check them out. They're crap.
How much of your daily time does it take away to create all that content?
When I did everything myself, same system, half an hour per day. But I mean, that driving business is still peanuts from a focus perspective. So if you say you're investing half an hour every day times 7, is not that much to get inbound leads for your business. And half an hour, all of you have half an hour easily. Like, switch off TikTok. There's a cool startup in my group. They're focusing on that.
When you mentioned production, how important is it for storyboarding and shot lists and scripts? Is that what you mean with the preparation phase?
Yes, if you really want to get into that weeds, do it. But right now, for most of you, it's just better start. Start documenting. I have a very good example. He's a fashion guy from Berlin, and I was kind of coaching him a little bit in the beginning, and he was crap in videos. He just posted it. He just keeps on doing. And he is amazing right now. He's a fashion designer in Berlin.
How do you feel about judgment of others when posting?
Yeah.
Need to get over it.
Very good question. Give a fuck. It's difficult, especially in your age. I get a lot of negative comments, not on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is easy peasy. But on TikTok, like, who is this stupid dude? Like, he even doesn't have hair, whatever. I give a fuck. I give a fuck. Like, I don't care at all because I don't let other people define my value. That's something you need to learn. It's very difficult. First, him.
If we don't have a business and we want to start creating content, what should be like the best projection for the content creation itself, like to get paid, like the revenue?
Different strategy. So if you want to get paid for the content that you create and do brand deals, then you need to do an influencer strategy, because brand deals only come with the audience size and the engagement that you have on every post. I don't care about how many likes I have. I care about how much money gets into my pocket through my business and the impact that my clients do. Different strategy. So if you want to go towards influencer, it's all about what is the most crazy thing you can do so that you get the highest engagement. That's like figure out how to go viral, literally. And that's the number one priority. That's Mr. Beast thing. Mr. Beast is so obsessed, how do I create engagement as much as possible? And then building that huge engine.
But for example, when you talk about the types of content, for example, if it's about teaching, if it's about, for example, teaching and being crazy at the same time, what is your opinion on how you can make performance?
If it fits to you, can perform. I have no idea. I don't do, and I don't recommend, at least in my world, to do influencer strategies. Because if you just think about, if we use your example, let's say you have, if you're lucky, 10,000 followers on Instagram. If we take this, 10,000 followers give you maybe whatever. If the people directly pay you, let's say you get €1 from every person that follows you, it's 10,000 euros. How often do you get €1 from every follower that you have? It's very unlikely that they're going to pay you. So it's always a percentage of the percentage. If you build a business, in my case, the average ticket that we have is 55,000 euros, average ticket. So if I have one person that follows me and it gets to be a customer, it's 55 plus 1,000. And it's one person. Different strategy. I don't. Because most of the things we do are with a strategy in mind. And the difficult thing for other people, let's say you see one post, you don't know what intent is behind that post. So I'm taking it and I'm thanking people when I see it, but I'm not, most of the time, not taking it in. I had a fun video last week. So I talk about CEOs, and the editor did a mistake in the beginning, which was SEO instead of CEO. And I said, let's keep it in to see how many people see it and contact me. And it was so fun that people reached out, you're so stupid that you use SEO. So thank you for reaching out. It's amazing. How can I help you? So I have seen it before we posted, so I've not seen it afterwards, obviously. So I said, let's keep it in to use it.
I have kind of a personal question. It's not regarding to this. So I recently opened up my own media production company, and I have a question. Since I don't have large projects to show up to, how can I create credibility and visibility for my brand so I can approach clients and clients can approach me?
You mean projects or you?
For my company. And that's a different question. Should my personal brand be different than my company's?
Yes.
Okay.
So, my personal brand is me. It's always going to be different than my company. My companies, we focus 100% on CEOs, 100% on thought leadership. I can talk about green shoes, sustainability, whatever I'm passionate about. I cannot do that inside of the business. Like if I talk about, hey, let's walk 24 hours on my business, everyone was like, are you nuts or what? Me as a person, I can do that. But I'm still attracting, through my diversity, people to my business. Let's tackle your business part after. I can share. So let's quickly end with the LinkedIn. I'm sorry, we're running out of time. LinkedIn Pimp Up. We use my case as an example because if we do this live with someone, it takes a long time. Number one thing is when you open up LinkedIn on your phone or on desktop, doesn't matter, people will look at your photo. If your photo is crap or AI'd, people will see that. Put in the highest quality photo where your face is visible. Because like you have seen in the first slide with all the people, we are humans. We are interacting with our faces. You will not remember my name after 2 weeks, most probably, but you will remember my face. So that's why it's important. And as you can see, there's a banner behind. I don't want to look into how many people of you don't use the banner. It's a lot of people you don't use that. It's like a business card that you have. I double my photo because I know the power of the face. That's why I'm using my photo. It's a strategy. So have a banner, that's key thing. That's the thing behind your head. And then I always recommend put something of your why into that banner so that people know straight away what you're about. Obviously, I won't drive people to my business. Next thing is, under your name, you have a possibility to write your title, whatever you're about. Make it in a way that people understand what you do. I give you my example for those that cannot read it. CEO of the CEO Thought Leadership Agency. It's pretty much clear who is my target and what we do. CEOs, thought leadership. And only then I go into the company, making credibility visible, and then I added a personal thing, which some of you have seen and talked to me already about. I'm a nerd when it comes to, I don't write nerd. Ultra endurance enthusiast. That's the business version of that. Again, a personal thing that differentiates me to everyone else, because I have this right now, a client who is as well an ultra endurance person, and he said, I want to work with you because you know my mindset. Just because of this freaking thing on my LinkedIn page. And you can use that to yourself. Another thing I have here, that's the last one, is keynote speaker. If nobody knows that I'm a keynote speaker, they cannot book me and pay me for it. Another thing, what you should then add over time, which connects to one of the questions, visit my website. So when you click that website, you're ending up in my funnel, which is my personal website. So that's the upper part. About. There are a lot of crappy about sections. About section is the thing where you can write whatever you want. It's like 6,000, I think, letters, or however you call that. What I do here, I do a mix of my vision and my origin story. Because what I want people, so my first sentence is, I wasn't always an innovation leader and entrepreneur. My journey began on construction sites in Germany. Think about it. I'm the person that is going to hire you, or looking into your profile to potentially hire you, and I get dragged into your stories. Like, oh, that's interesting. Instead, you're saying, I'm the best CEO of the world, and I'm like business, business, business. Completely different. Another section functionality in LinkedIn, you can highlight your top skills in the upper section. A lot of people don't do that. Think about it as a platform. LinkedIn has a search functionality internally, and if you look at, which I did in the past, if you have the subscription of hiring people, like HR people that are going to hire people, they can search for these keywords. If you don't have that keyword, which is skill, they will not find you. So make sure that the things that you are good at and the skills that you have, they're visible on your LinkedIn. Content, and we have talked about this a lot. I try to do a mix of videos and photos and text, and I post 2 times per day, minimum. That's just, and you see, it's not that much engagement, at least, I mean, that's 4 hours. It's 4 people likes. I don't care. I don't care at all. The CV section, super important, because that's the thing that recruiters will look into, and other people as well, in my case, clients. This is all the credibility. I mean, I have done 200 jobs or something. You maybe have not, but you can write, for example, right now, you're alumni of EIA. This should be in your LinkedIn profile, in your CV. And then you can write, which is the next part, what did you do? Not just, this is the program and that's what the program is about. You talk, this is what you learned. This is the story. So I start here, which is another hook, tell a story. In 2019, I left corporate life to build something of my own. I started Heitland Innovation, blah, 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 blah. And then I tell a story about my dad. In my CV.
Always something good?
Doesn't matter. It's a story. Again, then you have, in every job, you have skills that you can add. A lot of people don't do that.
In LinkedIn, we can put like as many skills as we want.
Yeah.
But I've heard already that it's better to put like the ones that are the best, not like having 30 skills. What do you think?
I mean, nobody has 30 total skills. Like, I would put the ones that really, like, top 5 or whatever.
Ah, okay, yeah, for example.
Yeah, you see it here. I have 1, 2, and plus 6. This is 8. It's still too much. But they all fit. I just use the algorithm.
Is there a specific number, like a globe number?
No, I don't think so. So add your skills, and then if you ever have a startup, have your pitch deck here. Or the link to your website. And then the title. Make the title understandable from what you are. Even today, you're like alumni or student, startup student, whatever you have, so that people understand what it is. There are a lot of weird job descriptions. If you work ever in a bigger company, they name whatever the position is, but nobody understands what it is because it's company internal policy that you are not allowed to be a manager or whatever it is. Put something that everyone understands. A super, super important thing for all of you, get recommendations. There's a recommendation function inside of LinkedIn. Put this into your task list and put it on auto, which reminds you every 3 months. Every 3 months, pop up and then ask someone for a recommendation on LinkedIn. As more you have credible people giving you a recommendation, as better it is. What I would be you, if I would be in your shoes, ask the mentors that work with you over the next couple of weeks to give you a recommendation. Ask your professors, ask your sport teachers, whatever it is, that are credible and can give you something personal. My top 2 are 2 clients. That's the best promotion I can have. They wrote me a recommendation. And one of them is chairman of a huge company in Asia and Europe. So think about it. Me hiring you, and I will look at the recommendation, I will check, is it your buddy that is writing someone, or your sister, your brother, or is it like your professor that is well known, and they're not going to do that for everyone. So be thoughtful whom you ask. But put that into your calendar so it pops up every 3 months. Because there are a lot of people who have nothing there. You miss out the credibility. Last piece, quickly. I know we're over time. This is how the programming looks. That's a couple of weeks ago. Career development. if you want to develop your career, show up as yourself. Make people be part of your journey. If I search for you when I go into a job interview with you, I want to know as much as possible about you. Feed me with what you want me to know. It's a strategy. It's not random. Feed me what I want, what I should find about you. Because the cool thing for all of you, you are in the driver's seat of the narrative that the internet knows about you. Right now, not, because it's from external articles, but if you have your own content, it will be more and more and more. It takes roughly 3 months and you're dominating it. If done well with SEO and your personal website, this system takes you 3 months and then you're ranking everywhere. I'm doing it daily with my clients. It roughly takes 3 months. Maybe with a politician, it might take a little longer if you have. Because that's the tricky thing. If you have a very common name, there are hundreds of people, or if you have like an actor in a famous Hollywood movie producer, it's difficult to rank. But still, if you do better and more over time, because they give F, most of them. If they have the same strategy, then it's difficult. But most people don't. So you can always dominate and show up. Last round of questions. Then I let you go.
Super. If someone has a really common name like you, shouldn't you use like 2 last names? For example, if you have kind of separate, or is it necessary?
I would always use your name because that's most of the time never going to change. So it's as more you use it, as better it gets. Because when I started, I was not visible at all in the internet, 0. And it was the others because one of them is football player. But now you cannot find him anymore. So use your own name, even if it's a common name. As more you do, as better it gets. Because it's about the system, not just about your name. If they are not producing, the internet will understand that over time. And then it's just ranking you. Because as more you produce, as more people will click and look at you. And as more people do that, as more the internet understands AI as well to drive people towards you.
Following his question, my name has like 7 names. And if I
7 names?
Yeah, and then if I have my name, my full name, like it's a full-on train, should I use
Yeah,
everything?
yeah, no, that's maybe a little bit much.
Okay, so I choose like 3 to use.
What is the one that you use normally? Like how do people know you?
My first name and my surname is like the most common thing in Portugal. Like everybody has my name.
Okay.
But like if I use every single thing, they don't have everything.
I give you an example what we did with the client. So one of the CEOs, his name is Peter Kovac. He's Hungarian, and it's like every second person is Peter Kovac. When I searched first time, I have not found him, and it was like 108 people, same name. But he has a middle name. What we did with him was Peter M. Kovac. But that's something you need to decide for yourself. What is the name you want to push the next couple of years? Because that's the thing you need to push. And for him, we decided on this M. To make it very, very clear. There's only one M. We have searched about that. Any?
When aligning your personal brand with a company brand, do you recommend always to have separate accounts or somewhere to make it like a...
Separate. Always separate. Business, 100% business. Personal brand, 100% personal brand. Or you can link it together, but it should be separate. Because think about startup. You want to sell your business, they might switch off the website, and everything is gone if you put it together. If you don't switch off your personal website.
Thank you.
What if your business is your personal brand?
Then you're an influencer.
Yeah, but like then how are you going to do it then?
Then most probably you're selling something, education or brand deals, then it's just your name.
Then you have to do it separate or not?
No, then it's not a real business in my perspective.
Yeah, I understand.
Then it's just your name.
More like do sponsorships for it.
Exactly.
Ah, yeah, okay.
So it's like business is like I'm building a company that has employees and everything. Last one.
I am working on a personal business that I do not want to link my face to. I want to exist as its own brand, but it can have its own face, it can have its own brand. Or should I don't know.
It really depends what it is. The most powerful, and that's it doesn't matter what business you do, if you put yourself to it, it's always different than any other business. Like there are hundreds of thousands media agencies, it's still different. And I'm still attracting different people than he would, just because of me. Even if we would do 100% the same thing, it's still different people. Yes, people are attracted in the way how I communicate and how he communicates. Nothing wrong with that, but because of me, it's different. And over time, you're building the brand. If we take IKEA as an example, it started with one person, and who was the founder, and he was making the difference.
Like IKEA is not known for the price.
Not anymore. I mean, it's 100 years old.
Can we talk about this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here the next couple of days. If you have questions, let me know. I'm happy to support. Thank you very much.